The 2020s may have been tough for all of us because of the health crisis, but it did have its benefits when it produced a couple of hit films. And for today's video, we'll be sharing with you the best movies from the 2020s that are destined to become classics. So if you want to know more about today's topic, make sure you tune in. Many films from the 2020s, including Dune, Top Gun Maverick, and Everything Everywhere All at Once, will go down in history as classics, and here are a few more. For starters, we have Borat subsequent movie, released in 2020. Because comedy movie sequels are nearly always a letdown, fans were hesitant when Sacha Baron Cohen revealed that he would be returning to his character as naive Kazakh reporter Borat Sagdiyev in a new installment. But the Borat sequel ended up being a rare instance of a comedy sequel that matches the quality of the first. Borat's satire turned out to be more current in 2020 than it was in 2006. The cinematic adaptation of Borat will serve as a historical record of the social and political atmosphere surrounding the pandemic and the 2020 presidential election for many years to come. Next, we have Spider-Man No Way Home, released in 2021. Marvel movies are currently quite popular, but since the majority of them use the same formula, only a select number will endure and be relevant in the future. The kind of truly unique superhero film that sticks out from the competition is Spider-Man No Way Home. A profoundly poignant parable about second chances in the vein of It's a Wonderful Life is wrapped around a highly ambitious and a wildly satisfying franchise crossover experiment. It not only fulfilled fans' expectations for the live-action Spider-Verse, but also told the definitive Peter Parker tale. Moving on to the next one, we have RRR, which was released just this year. The most expensive Indian film to date is this year's action-packed epic RRR, and writer and director S.S. Rajamouli made the most of every dollar in that spending plan. In this film, there are animal assaults, motorcycle jumps, and battle scenes involving large crowds. RRR is so large and dramatic that audiences don't have time to get bored, making it very likely the wildest film of the year. Years from now, viewers will still be in awe of this 3-hour thrill ride. Then we have Nightmare Alley, which was released last in 2021. Many of Guillermo del Toro's films, from The Devil's Backbone to Pan's Labyrinth, have established themselves as classic works of art. Nightmare Alley, his least supernatural film in years, but nonetheless one of his Oscar contenders for 2021, will follow the same formula. The film's unexpected surprise ending makes it simple to watch again and analyze, and its horrific story about the monster that lives inside every one of us will last just as long as its 1946 original novel. The Mitchells vs. the Machines, which was also released last 2021. The Mitchells vs. the Machines, Netflix's charming fusion of a touching comedy about a family road trip and an action-packed sci-fi epic about a robot revolt, received its third nomination for Best Animated Feature at this year's Academy Awards. The Mitchells vs. the Machines is entertaining for the whole family, much like many animated films destined to become classics. The film touches on concerns related to society's current reliance on technology, but such issues will only grow more important in the future. Moving on to the next film, we have Top Gun Maverick, which was released just this year. The first Top Gun movie, directed by Tony Scott, has become a classic over the last 36 years, but its sequel might be remembered even more fondly in 36 years. According to the overwhelmingly favorable reviews, Joseph Kosinski's Top Gun Maverick is a tremendous advance over its corny, nationalistic predecessor. Because the action was captured in the cockpits of real fighter jets, the sequel has even more exciting aerial moments and, on top of that, an emotionally compelling father-son narrative. Next on the list, we have a reboot, and it's none other than Dune, which was released last year. The groundbreaking science fiction work Dune by Frank Herbert has a long-standing reputation as one of the best and most influential books ever produced. When Denis Villeneuve dared to bring Herbert's vision, the first half of it at least, to the big screen, he had his job cut out for him. The performers give their characters depth. Villeneuve consciously communicates the story primarily through visuals without depending on exposition, and Greig Fraser's captivating photography transports viewers to the surreal realms that Herbert imagined. If Villeneuve can pull off the second half, audiences will be watching this film for years to come. Moving on to the next film, we have Petite Maman, which was released last 2021. Except for Celine Sciamma's exquisite mother-daughter story, Petite Maman, which used time travel to examine the similarities and differences between a young girl and her mother in the wake of the death of her maternal grandmother. Most time travel stories focus on the struggle to return to the future or fix the time machine. This girl wanders out into the woods while visiting her mother's old house and becomes friends with another young girl girl who turns out to be her mother when she was younger. In 50 years, this classic narrative will still be breathtaking. Then, last but not least, we have Everything Everywhere All at Once, which was released just this year. The Daniels came along to show Marvel how it's done with Everything Everywhere All at Once while they were struggling to balance multiversal world building with emotional narrative. It is both a hugely enjoyable sci-fi action and a profoundly moving storyline. This film is flawless. It features plenty of slapstick humor, strange other realities, and stunning martial arts battles, all of which contribute to painting a poignant picture of a mother and daughter's effort to connect. So what can we say about the movies that were released in the past few years? From Morbius to Jurassic World Dominion to Disney's eerie live-action Pinocchio remake, reviewers have been adamant about which current films won't go down in history as treasured masterpieces. But a few standouts from the last few years will continue to be highly regarded, in-depth analyzed, and frequently cherished by cinephiles for decades to come. Still, they couldn't be the wonder that is Everything Everywhere All at Once, and speaking of the movie, here are some of the best lessons in the film. For starters, nihilism isn't the answer to everything. The everything bagel at the center of the universe is initially presented as an aesthetically stunning MacGuffin, but it ultimately comes to symbolize the lack of purpose in life and the urge to give up on belief in anything. The ultimate dilemma is presented by this menacing cosmic bagel. No matter how much stuff is on the bagel, there will never be enough. The fact that joy is Jobu Tupaki's avatar is a brilliant plot device because it not only gives Evelyn a good reason to save Joy, but also draws comparisons between the nihilism of a multiversal entity that has run out of worlds to conquer and the nihilism of a Generation Z kid with a controlling mother. Despite a thorough examination of nihilism and its causes, Everything Everywhere All at Once does not advocate for it. The movie's thesis is that nihilism isn't the solution. Despite being alluring in a society that keeps growing gloomier, it is up to each individual in every universe iteration to find meaning in the life they have been given, even if that life is eating hot dog fingers. Next lesson, fighting is never the answer. The Daniels defy conventional notions with a major final fight in the finale scene after providing fans with a beautiful battle royale in the first half of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Before a vicious altercation between Evelyn and Jobu Tupaki's Universal goons, Waymond intervenes and entreats everyone to stop fighting. He believes that using force is not the solution and begs Evelyn to come up with another plan of action to save their daughter. Evelyn changes her mind and chooses to follow his instruction as she gets ready to defeat them all in battle. By placing one of her husband's googly eyes on her forehead, she dispatches the thugs one by one rather than beating them into submission. Instead, she jumps into their original worlds, solves all of their issues, and transforms them into happy individuals. Moving on to the next lesson, there are different fights in all of us, and optimism is one of them. Wayman is a constant, starry-eyed optimist who always sees the positive side of everything, and Evelyn thinks that's foolish. This is one of the patterns across all universes. In one world, Wayman outlines his reasons for optimism while also acknowledging that it's much harder than it seems. He admits that he sees himself as a fighter like Evelyn, but his battle is against a harsh reality that doesn't always show a positive side. He views his optimism as a strength and a coping tool, whereas she sees it as a flaw. This is how he struggles to maintain his optimism and look on the bright side of things. We'd love to include more, but unfortunately, we're already out of time. So with that, we're wrapping up today's episode about the best movies from the 2020s. What other movie do you think should be included in today's list? Please let us know in the comment section below. And thank you so much for watching today's video. Before you go, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more videos like these. We'll see you next time, and thank you so much for watching.